Bugs Bunny. My dog Bugs Bunny. Let me make sure this working right. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's working right. Make sure it's working, everything working. Damn, Pittsburgh scored already. Pittsburgh ain't playing. Pittsburgh ain't playing, man. I ain't even a Pittsburgh fan, but I want them to win. All right, let's try this. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, what up, though? What up, though, man? Listen, man, what up? I take a quick intermission, man. What's good? You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be over here cooking up, man. Don't mind me, man. You know what I'm saying? You stop in, man. Say what's up. You know what I'm saying? If you keep it moving, it's all love. You know what I mean? Ain't no way I'm feeling at all. Only thing I'm feeling is music right now. You feel me? I need to see. That's what I need to see. I gotta get my headphones, man, so I can talk while I'm doing this. But I'm gonna go get some headphones tomorrow, so next live I'll be able to just do it the right way. But now I'm trying to do it this way. But yeah, man, feel free stop in, say what's up, man. Man, throw some suggestions, throw some songs to sample. You know, man, listen, I'm the music guy. All right, whatever you want to hear, I pretty much can do. I mean, at least 95% or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I want to turn it into that type of thing anyway. Like, man, yo, y'all seen y'all be questioning, man, on joints y'all want to hear. I'm gonna cook it up, and then the next time I go, I'm gonna tag you. You know what I'm saying? If it's something you want to copy, you know what I mean? It is. If it ain't, you know what I mean? It ain't. It is what it is. You feel me? You feel me? Man, look at Pittsburgh, man. Pittsburgh think they doing something out here. They think they doing something out here. I know my nigga Raw. Hey, I know you're watching this right now, Raw. I hope your boys win too, though. To be honest, I do not want the Bengals to win, but Pittsburgh needs to score again. I guess I can't even see that. What did I say? Second, third quarter. This shit is too little. My eyes ain't that good no more, man. My eyes used to be great. Shit, I can't see. Like I need some damn glasses. For real. Rogers. That's where Rogers went. Oh snap. Okay. Yeah. Pittsburgh might got something going though. Might got something going. I mean, Rogers ain't the best, but he ain't the worst. Yeah, look at the old man run. Old man running. Man. But yeah, let me get back to these beats, man. Let me get back to the beat. But nah, for real though, man. If you come by this live, man, you know what I'm saying? Come by any live, man. Drop in, man. Say what's up, man. Because I know half you niggas out here. Like, it don't make sense. If you just come by and don't you at least come in and say what up and keep it pushing. You feel me? Anyway, let's get back to this, bro. Yeah, we're gonna see what this is. We're gonna see what this is right here. Because I don't know what that is. I don't remember any of these numbers. Oh, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. My favorite part of the day. Oh, shit, Raw. They done scored, Raw. Bengals done scored, Raw. Yeah, them boys be extra amped. Don't blame them. They be extra amped. Ass. That was an enter? Or a fumble? Oh, wow. He ain't never tackle him. He ain't never tackle him. Look at Roger C. Like, man, this shit out of here. What the fuck? Yeah, that's crazy. I want Pittsburgh to win, though. Come on, Pittsburgh. I gotta win. I gotta win, bruh. Oh, that's what this is. Come on, what this is. All right, that's going to conclude this session right there. Going to conclude this session right here, and we will be having, well, kicking. I'll actually be kicking off the podcast with Rev NYG because it's just the logical thing to do because the project about to drop. So we're gonna go live. We're gonna play a couple of songs, and we're gonna kick the podcast off with that, man. That just makes the most sense to me, and I got to roll with that. Got to roll with it. You feel me? And I'm gonna go around and start hitting different people up and see if get them on the cash. You know what I mean? But just so you know, podcast is called Real Spit. You know what I'm saying? Real Spit Music Talk. That's how it's going down. Just trying to get everything together, make sure it's all together. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I'm gonna try to be on the lookout for that 'cause it's coming soon, very soon. Say the Bengals just scored it again? Shit, it's a game now. Oh, it's a game. Yeah. I think I might have to go ahead and watch this. Might have to go ahead and watch this for a bit. Better than the Buffalo game. Shit. I love Buffalo. Die hard Buffalo. Goes Mafia to the end. Don't give a shit what we win or what we do, man. It's Bill Mafia to the end, bruh. I do not want. Man, I hope the Bengals don't win, man. Yo, don't tell me the Bengals. I don't want the Bengals. I just, hell no. Hell no. Pitch, y'all better beat them. Y'all better beat them. That's all I got to say. But yeah, man, let me get up out of here, man. I'm trying to cut this down to 35 to 45 minutes, man. I keep going over. I can't help it. I can't help it because it's just what I do. You know what I'm saying? It's just what I do. I move how I move. Feel me? That's just it. That's all to it. I did want to check out one beat, but I just don't know nobody. And I don't got enough time to figure it out. Damn, I wish I knew the name. I don't even know the name of it. I don't know, but I'm out of here, man. Let me get out of here. Yo, y'all be safe, man, and y'all be good. You know what I'm saying? Y'all stay up, keep y'all head up, feeling down, if you're stressed out, anything like that. Shit, you need somebody to talk to, you know what I'm saying? Holla at me. I'm a great listener, and I like conversating with people, helping people work through things. You know what I'm saying? Especially like mental, yeah. And most likely I've been there too. And I didn't have nobody to help work me through a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I had a good amount of my life. I had my mom and my brother, but you know, a couple friends here and there. But outside of that, like, yo, I know how that shit is. I know how it feels. So just know I'm here if you need me. If you want free beats, find another motherfucker. Don't come at me with no free shit. But the people in the back who never seem to hear, who seem to hit me a week or two after, and yo, stop coming at me sideways, disrespectful, right? Respectfully. Now, I'm getting up out of here, man. Like I said, y'all be safe, man. Y'all be... I can't believe